A mysterious ghost took the lives of a poor woman's 2 daughters and son. What did the mother do to deserve the spirit's wrath? Don't miss out. The psychics will uncover the secret of a horrific murder. Welcome to Psychic Investigations, a channel of true and impressive stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate intricate criminal cases and shocking mystical anomalies. This is Rita Mushinska from Ukraine. She runs a farm where she grows and sells seedlings. At just 39, she has endured enough grief for several lifetimes. One after another, Rita has buried 3 of her children.
My Sonia. And this is my Pasha. I come here to cry.
Both of Rita's daughters died shortly after birth. Before she could heal from the loss of her second child, she faced another blow. Last year, her eldest son, 17-year-old Pasha, died under mysterious circumstances. The perfectly functional car he was in inexplicably overturned. The boy sustained fatal injuries.
If someone told me that they would cut me into pieces, but my child would live, I would agree. There's no greater pain.
I can't imagine how to survive losing 1 child, let alone 3.
Rita divorced her husband. The only thing that keeps her in this world is her 9-year-old son, Yasha, the last of her 4 children.
Yasha is the most precious thing in my life.
But recently, little Yasha has been constantly on the brink of life and death.
No sooner did I go into the room and lay down to sleep than my temperature spiked.
He fainted. His temperature was around 42 degrees.
Rita immediately called an ambulance.
I was suffocating. The doctors gave me various injections.
Fortunately, the medics saved Yasha. After that, they conducted a full examination at the hospital, but found no illnesses. The cause of the high fever that nearly killed the boy remains a mystery. As soon as Yasha returned home from the hospital, he again found himself in mortal danger. The incident happened in the yard.
He fell on the glass, like someone shoved him.
The sharp glass cut the tendons in his arm, and he was back in the hospital.
His tendons were cut. He saw the blood and shouted, "Am I going to die?"
Rita is convinced that the threat to Yasha's life and the deaths of her other children are no coincidence.
I think my children are dying for a reason. Why such punishment?
Indeed, this can't be a mere coincidence. If something happens to Yasha, she won't survive it.
I'm asking the psychics for help, so that at least one of my children can see life.
Our project's experts, Yaroslava Fedorova and Kayal Alekperov, take on the investigation to help the woman. On their way, the psychics work with the photos of Rita and her son.
A dead woman took Rita's children to the other world, and now she's hunting the boy. I see her. She stands behind him, all in white. Who are you?
Is it possible her name is Ludmila? Last night I worked with the boy's photo and my jinns told me find Ludmila.
I wonder if it's the same woman or 2 different ones. Why is this woman in white taking Rita's children? The cards say that Rita owes her life to the woman in white.
That's what they usually say about a mother. Could it be Rita's mother?
Rita is eagerly waiting for the psychics near her house. Her friends and fellow villagers have come to support her.
She needs help badly, that's for sure. She has only 1 child left.
Come in, please.
The psychics asked Rita to find a photo of her mother while they worked in the yard.
Yaroslava, there is strong negative energy in this house.
Here,
What's her name?
Yevdokia.
Why did your mother try to kill you? I see her drowning you in water.
Yes. She would take me and dunk my head in a basin.
She didn't want you to be born at all.
She was initially going to abort me. My father told me before he died that she wanted to strangle me during childbirth, but she didn't have the courage to do it.
It's just unimaginable. Strangle a child during childbirth. How can a mother even think of such cruelty?
You were an extra mouth to feed all your childhood.
They lived very poorly. They wanted to give me away after I was born. Everyone beat me. My mother, sister, and brother. I was unwanted.
I'm having a vision of you hiding somewhere and crying.
Yes, yes. I hid in the barns, in the garden.
I feel your pain.
I lived with them, but they just kicked me out.
I was shocked by the cruelty Rita faced in her family. And it all came from her mother, who hated her daughter.
Could it be that your mother wishes you harm even after death?
I don't feel your mother's presence in the house. It's not her spirit that wishes your son death.
When did your mother die?
4 years ago. My mother was alive when my first child, my daughter, died.
But someone from the world of the dead lives in your house.
Yes, it's true. We all hear it. It's really scary to stay in the house because you hear its footsteps.
Could it be the spirit of the woman in white that we saw? Is it bound to the house?
We need inside.
Of course.
So weird. I looked at the photo of the mother, and there was the mark of a killer on her. I don't understand what it is.
Could Rita's mother be involved in a murder? What is that supposed to mean?
Your son fears something.
Yes, he practically never stays alone in the house.
And I would like to work with your son. Hello. We're here to help you. My sacred book says you love math, and your passion is computers.
Yes. I want to become a game developer.
You are a smart boy. You have the ability for this, and you will succeed. Tell me, Yasha, do you see anyone next to you in the house?
The shadow, it was following me. It was all white. A white ghost walked around, crying and wailing loudly. I got goosebumps.
I see your son in bed now, and the woman in white is reaching for his throat.
Kayal.
Yaroslava, what's wrong?
A terrible thing happened. When Yaroslava Fedorova was working near Yasha's bed, a heavy mattress put against the wall suddenly fell.
I saw the dead woman in white, and she was furious.
We need to get the boy out immediately.
She said, "You will find out nothing, and I will take all of them." After that, the large mattress fell.
It happened to Yaroslava at the same moment, when I had a vision of the future, in which the woman in white was going to strangle Yasha. We urgently needed to find out who this dead woman was.
She laughed.
Yes, I heard the laughter too. Yasha and I were sleeping when he woke up and said, "Mom, do you hear it? It's laughing." We couldn't sleep until dawn.
Why does this woman in white cry and scream on some occasions and laugh on the other? And why did she take almost all of Rita's children?
What walks there is not bound to the house. The children died not here. It's bound to the family.
Was that a photo of your eldest son Pasha, who died in an accident, on the wall in the house?
Yes.
I sense that he also saw the spirit in white,
Yes, he did see it.
and soon afterward he died in the crash.
Not long before his death, about a year before it happened, he started seeing it. It haunted him and choked him.
Rita, not in front of the child. Let's let the boy go.
Here, hold this. Can I hold your hand? It shows me a cemetery. Very surprised eyes.
Yes, I closed his eyes. They wouldn't close.
In those eyes is the reflection of what he saw before his death.
But what did Pasha see before he had the accident? And is the woman in white really involved in his death?
Your son says it hurts him to see you suffer. He misses you very much, and he loves you deeply.
It hurts when you hug your child, and they are not alive.
We need to go to the place where Pasha died. I want to perform a ritual there to see through his eyes what he saw before he died.
The spot where Pasha crashed is not far from their house on the outskirts of the village. The young man made the money to buy the old Zhiguli himself by helping his mother grow and sell seedlings.
He would come up and put his arm around me like this, and then he would say, "Everything will be fine, Mom." This is where my son died.
I tuned into the day your son died, and I saw a fair-colored car.
Beige.
Your son was in the driver's seat. He saw something on the road, swerved sharply, and the car overturned.
On that terrible day, Rita was in Kiev on business. When her ex-husband called and broke the terrible news, her heart sank.
He said, "Pasha is gone." It was terrible.
Yaroslava, where are you going?
I suddenly saw the dead woman in white. But then she disappeared. Is this woman related to Pasha's death?
I didn't have time to tell everything I felt at the place of Pasha's death. We were in a hurry to follow Yaroslava. Your son wasn't alone in the car. There were 2 other boys with him. You were with him and you survived. Please come closer.
It turned out that the young men the psychic pointed to were Pasha's best friends, Kostya Zhihailo and Kostya Ivash. On that fateful evening, the friends decided to take a ride in Pasha's car. None of them could have imagined in their worst nightmares how this trip would end.
The car started spinning. When it overturned, I thought, so this is it.
I felt a bump, and then everything was like in a fog.
I was the first to jump out. I called, "Pasha, Kostya!" I heard Kostya speaking.
Pasha didn't respond. He was thrown out of the window and was crushed by the car's bottom.
In an instant, the boys lost their closest friend, who was smiling just 10 minutes ago, with whom they played as children and went fishing together.
The boy indeed saw the dead woman before he died. She appeared suddenly, as if she had emerged from the ground. She scared him.
I'd never seen him like that before.
He turned the wheel out of fear, and the car hit something and overturned. And you survived because the woman's spirit Pasha saw didn't intend to kill you. She's bound to Rita's family.
But who is this ominous woman in white? And why is she taking Rita's children?
My sacred book is now telling me, look in the family house.
The psychics return to Rita's house.
My jinns are telling me revenge over a child, and they are showing me a pregnant woman. Yaroslava, where are you going? What did you see here?
I saw her, the woman in white. She was next to this house. Whose house is this?
My parents.
This one?
My great-grandmother and grandmother lived here, in this house.
So that's what my sacred book was talking about. It wasn't about Rita's house, but the house where her family lived, starting from her great-grandmother.
Who lives here now?
My nephew.
Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Yannick.
Anna, Yannick's wife.
The woman in white who's haunting you. She also comes here.
The woman in white has almost wiped out your entire family. Whose death is connected to a 2-wheeled vehicle?
My brother. My late brother, yes. He overturned on a motorcycle and died. And a year before that, I lost another brother. And my sister withered away before my eyes when she was 36.
What a horror. It turns out the woman in white is killing not only Rita's children, but her entire family.
And you also feel something.
I see shadows walking here and around the house, and there's banging on the windows and doors. My children are very scared.
And she calls you often.
Yes. But every time I open the door, there's no one outside.
And you, Rita, were also 1 foot in the grave, twice.
Twice, I almost died during labor.
The birth of her daughters nearly killed Rita. During both deliveries, her heart stopped.
Yaroslava, do you see this dead woman in white? She's here now.
She's standing, and she's saying some very strange words now. Your grandmother and mother killed me and my child. What is this?
Revenge over a child.
Did my grandmother kill a woman with a child?
What does it mean?
I just remembered what my jinns told me before the investigation. Find Lyudmila. Who is Lyudmila?
I know about Lyusia, Mom's friend.
Lyusia is a short form of Lyudmila.
I think Grandma caused her blood poisoning.
How?
Well, she helped her with an abortion.
Wait, was she a doctor?
No, she wasn't a doctor.
Do you mean your grandmother, who wasn't a doctor or a midwife, performed an abortion on that Lyudmila, after which she died?
Yes.
My God, but this is a murder.
What a horror! Rita's grandmother killed not only the unborn baby, but also its mother, a woman named Lyudmila.
My grandmother is guilty of killing a woman and her baby.
It turned out that several decades ago, women in this village often used the services of Rita's grandmother.
They probably didn't want to go to the hospital. It was viewed as something shameful back then.
They said it was all done with tablespoons. And to open it all up, can you imagine what she was doing there? And all of this was done without any anesthesia, of course.
I was shocked by what I heard. Rita's grandmother performed illegal abortions, without a medical degree, right at home, with no special tools or anesthesia, no sterility. It's like something from the Middle Ages.
A sharp object. It's a knitting needle. I'm having a vision. The needle is inserted and pierces the embryo, the fetus.
I see blood. This woman, Lyudmila, is bleeding.
This is horrendous. It's simply unimaginable.
Lyudmila's spirit is destroying your family. She is the woman in white.
The woman who bled.
She takes both adults and children. I see 6 dead children in your family.
It's so shocking, because I have 3 children, and my nephew also had 2 stillborn babies, twin boys. And then his wife also lost another baby. So 3 from them and 3 from me.
But what does your mother have to do with this? Okay, your grandmother killed children. But your mother? But I see that her friend.
Yaroslava, I see Rita's mother bring her friend to the grandmother. She advises Lyudmila to have an abortion with her. She says, first you, and then me.
My mother was pregnant with me. She was supposed to do the same with me. She got scared because her friend died from it.
This is why Rita's mother refused to have an abortion.
She feared for her life. That's why I was born eventually.
Rita owes her life to the woman in white. Rita's grandmother killed Lyudmila, but it was her friend, Rita's mother, who brought her there, which resulted in her death. That's why I saw the mark of a killer on that woman.
Rita, Lyudmila took revenge on your mother too. Was your mother not herself before she died?
Yes, she'd been talking to herself lately.
She said a witch was coming to her.
That's how she saw the woman in white, because her spirit is outraged and won't rest until she takes your entire family.
What can we do to stop her from harming us?
I'm worried about Yasha and Yannick's children.
You've got to atone for your grandmother's sins and put candles in churches for the repose of those who died at her hands. She took too many souls with her abortions. And now, apologize to the spirit of Lyudmila, thanks to whom you're alive.
need you to write her name. You just talk to her in your mind and ask her to forgive you and leave your family alone. Close your eyes.
The spirit of this woman in white is giving a sign. She's forgiven you and she's leaving.
Open your eyes.
I asked Liusia for forgiveness for my family, so that this would end. It's a shame that my children are paying for the sins of their ancestors.
You're anxious about your son, I see that. Let me write down a prayer that will protect you. Keep this talisman at home.
Thank you.
I am so grateful to you. Thank you.
It's hard to believe what a terrible retribution the sins of the ancestors have turned out to be for the family. If you're impressed by this story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more amazing investigations by the psychics are coming up.